This is a voice cover video. If you feel uncomfortable, then you can mute it. It's a boy and boy fan fiction. If you're homophobic, kindly leave. Remember, it's just a fan fiction. Don't take it serious. And if I do any mistake in voice cover, then please forgive me. Hello, Amma. Finally you called. Why you asked Principal Sir to give me leave? And that too for 15 days? Jim, Jin, don't you know how to talk to your mother? You didn't even ask how I am. Directly asking why I told him to give you holidays? Then what should I ask? What's the need of these holidays? You know, exams are starting from next month. That's your student's exam, not yours. Still, Oma, I'm their professor and I need to prepare them for their exams. I already asked your principal and he got agreed to give you leave. And you're coming, that's it. Why, Oma? Do you know how long you haven't been here? Do you even remember us? I know, Ma, but I am a professor and I need to be available for my students every time. And what about us? We never asked you to give us much time. And now when I'm asking, you're denying? Anya, Ma, you're being sensitive now. I don't know. I just want to see you. Moreover, it's your cousin's wedding and she wants you there with her. What? Vine is getting married? Did you forget she is already engaged? The date is confirmed and you'll have to come. Okay, I will, but on one condition. What condition? You'll not force me to get engaged or married. What's wrong being getting engaged or married? You're not even dating anyone, and if you'll not give anyone chance, how you will find your perfect one? Oh ma, please. Fine, just come. That's enough for us. Okay. I have booked the tickets for you already. What? Yes, you'll come by bus. What? Are you crazy, Amma? Shut up. I don't want any excuses. But Amma, I can come by train. Bus travel will be so tiring and it will take extra time. I'm sending you tickets. Just come. She said and cut the call. Jin sighed and put his phone on the table, leaning backwards on the chair. I know guys, the distance from Seoul to Gwachun is just for some minutes, but for story purpose, I'm making it a bit long. Guys, he is Kim Seok-jin, a professor in a college of Seoul. Hardworking, professional, and handsome as him. He is still single, never dated anyone. Not because he didn't want to, but because he never found anyone who can understand him. On the other side, no Oma, I'm not going anywhere, that's final. What is the problem? You know very well, I'm tied up these days. Some projects are still pending and you're asking me to go with you. And that too for 15 days. Come on Hyung, it will be fun, please. Jungkook, you and Oma can go but I'm not going. Is your work more important than us? Don't you? You didn't go on any vacation together since 2 years. See, your brother also wants you to go with us. You're blackmailing me now. Fine, I'll go. He said, then Jungkook jumped in happiness and hugged his beloved brother excitedly. Thank you, Nong. I'm so excited. He backed off the hug and looked at his mother who was smiling at him. Oma, ask Yoongi Yong also to come with us. It will be fun if he and Jimin will be there with us. Okay, I'll ask him. I don't know if he will get ready. Please, Oma. Jimin also wants to go with us, but since that old cat is always busy, he didn't ask him. They didn't even go to honeymoon because of Young. Okay, I'll persuade him. Thank you, Oma. I'm going to meet Jimin. Bye. He didn't waste any second and vanished from there towards Yoonmin's house. So guys, here Jungkook and Namjoon are siblings and Yoongi is their cousin brother who married Jimin almost 6 months ago. That was an arranged marriage, and as Yoongi is always busy with his work, so they didn't go to honeymoon till now, though Yoongi sometimes takes Jimin to small dates. And here, Namjoon is also a busy person. He handles the company along with his father. He doesn't give much time to anything but his work, which seems more important for him, though he didn't want to go on any vacation. But he didn't want his younger brother to be sad, so he got agreed to go with them. Time skip next evening. What, Amma? Why in this tourist bus? We'll go by bus. Yes, home, it will be fun. We can go by, don't talk too much and get inside. Come, Jimmy, he said while holding Jimmy's hand softly in his and walked inside the bus. Come now, don't be so dramatic, she said and walked up in the bus. Jungkook also left behind her. Namjoon sighed and also went inside. Yunmin are sitting together and Jungkook and Mrs. Kim are also sitting together. Namjoon sat on a seat which was in between them. It's evening and there's still time to departure. Namjoon looked at the sky from the window and sighed. He was so lost in his thoughts when someone tapped on his shoulder beside. He moved his head up and saw a man standing there. Namjoon point of view. I looked up only to see a man who was standing beside the seat. I only could look at his side profile, which was a bit shocking. He then moved his face towards me, which somehow made my heart beat increase. I looked in his eyes when I guessed. He smiled a little. Can you please give me window seat? Why? Actually, I have motion sickness. So, then why are you traveling by bus? Better travel by train. Ask someone else to give you window seat. Excuse me? You should have reserved a window seat in advance if you have motion sickness. Namjoon said rudely, then Mrs. Kim interrupted, who was sitting next to Jungkook. Namjoon, how rudely are you talking to him? Say sorry to me. I didn't say anything wrong. He rolled his eyes and looked outside of the window. I'm really sorry on behalf of my son. Please don't mind him. It's okay, auntie. I can adjust. You're really so handsome, son. What about me? You're ugly, you know? He said to tease him, then Jimin chuckled. Hyung, how can you say that? With mouth. Do you speak with any other organ? Hyung, don't fight like this. See Jimin, he is sitting all silent and you three are so noisy. What did I do? You're silent now. Son, please sit. Why are you still standing? He hummed and sat beside Namjoon because his seat was reserved beside him. He adjusted himself on the seat. Then again Mrs. Kim asked, Are you also going on a vacation, dear? Stop asking questions to strangers, Oma. You don't even know his name. Namjoon. She glared at him, then again looked at the boy. I'm Kim Seok-jin. I'm going to meet my family. Oh, I see. We are also going. Huh? I mean, we are also going on a vacation. And they are my sons, Kim Namjoon, Kim Jungkook. On the back seat, he is my nephew, Min Yoongi, and his husband, Min Jimin. Oh, nice to meet you all. He said, looking back and then front. Then the bus started moving forward. Namjoon pulled out a book from his bag and opened it to read. Accidentally, Jin's eyes went on the book and he said, You're also reading this book? It's really good. Can you please let me read? He said and focused on his book. Then Jin whispered, I wish I speak upon you. Excuse me, what did you say? What you heard. He also said rudely, plugged the headphones to his mobile and increased the volume to avoid Namjoon. Time skipped after almost half an hour. Namjoon was busy reading his book and Jin was busy listening to the songs. The soft melody of music and cold breeze coming through the window was making him dizzy. He was unaware of his sleep, which was slowly dozing him off. Unknowingly, his head rested on Namjoon's shoulder, making him attentive of the sudden sensation on his skin. He turned his head aside to gaze the most peaceful view in front of his sight. Hair strands falling down on forehead, closed eyes, cute nose which is highlighting the beauty more, round cheeks with little pink shade on it, and fabric-like greasy lips. The sudden partition of his lips was making it more intense. Namjoon squeaked his saliva down to his throat and estranged him off straight away, which made Jin shoot open his eyes. Why did you show me off? A furiousness was present in his voice. Sleep somewhere else. It's my shoulder, not your pillow. My bad that my head landed on your irritating shoulder. If I was awake, I would let it not to bother a person like you. Are you even feeling sorry or not? I would. If you were polite. Anyways, it wasn't intentional. You can keep on reading. Jin said and rested his head on the back seat and closed his eyes as he was a little pissed due to Namjoon's behavior. On the other side, Namjoon shrugged his shoulder off and again focused on his book, but his mind was not at the same track. His eyes were finding their way to Jin's face. Namjoon closed the book and shifted his gaze out of the window, breathing out heavily. Cold breeze was kissing his skin, but his mind was all puzzled like a thread. He again eyed Jin with his jib off. Then a voice tugged his ears, which took him back on earth. It's none other than Jin, who is still resting with his closed eyes. Read your book rather than reading my features, he said and unlocked his eyelashes, showing his black shiny eyes. I know my features are good. You're not that beautiful to admire you. Really? Well, maybe I'm not beautiful, but I'm handsome. Everyone says that. They are blind. Maybe you are the one who is blind here. Otherwise, all the students in university consider me the most handsome man. You're a student and talking like a professor. Because I am. I'm not a student, but a professor. Oh, I wonder how your students handle you every day. And I wonder how your employees handle you every second. How do you know I run a company? Are you stalking me? Stalking my book. Only a rich CEO can behave this rude to a stranger. Prejudging someone isn't good, Mr. Kim. Am I? It's all in front of my eyes. You're rude, arrogant. He couldn't complete his words when the driver pulled the brake all of a sudden and his head bumped into the front seat. But he didn't feel any pain. He was blanked out for some seconds, then backed away only to see a hand which protected his forehead bumping into the seat. He looked at the owner of the hand, who was already looking at him coldly. It's Namjoon, who backed his hand away. Jin was out of words because of his previous words he used for Namjoon, though it wasn't only his fault to argue with him, but still, he felt like he said something wrong. He bit the corner of his lower lip and said, Is your hand alright? Your head is just like a cotton candy, he uttered in his cold tone. Jin couldn't find suitable words to thank Namjoon. Or maybe he didn't know if he should thank him or apologize for his words. The silence became awkward in between them now. It was only 1 hour they met and they argued with each other in just this 1 hour. They both tried to distract their minds, but they only could think about it, the argument they just had for no reason. They both were thinking, why did they argue when they could just let it go? They were literally messing like kids. Namjoon point of view. What's wrong with me? He is just a stranger and I literally had an argument with him. Was there any point to do so? I could ignore him. He was right. He didn't do anything intentionally. Maybe I overreacted. Should I apologize? I looked at him with the corner of my eyes when I'm feeling like he isn't feeling comfortable. What happened to him? I saw him looking into his bag for something and he mumbling something continuously. I couldn't hear him, but I could sense his actions which are saying he forgot something. I again looked outside of the window on the road on which the bus is running. The sun is about to set, which is giving me a calm feeling. But then all of a sudden I remember something. True, he has motion sickness. I again eyed him with a fear in my eyes. But all of a sudden I found him over me, which made me stick back with the chair. I found him hovering over me to the window, sticking his neck out of it. My hands unknowingly wrapped on his waist and I rubbed his back a little to make him feel ease. Namjoon totally forgot what he was doing. He pulled Jin in his lap and was caressing his back. In the meantime, he pulled out a water bottle and fork. Have some water. As he said, Jin took the water bottle from Namjoon's hand and swigged the water down to his gullet with his shaky hands. It was seeming like he was out of vitality. Namjoon was still patting his back, not knowing some pair of eyes were on him. He gazed up when perceived some stares on him. Jungkook and Mrs. Kim were looking at them both, and on the back seat, Yunmin's eyes were also stated on them. What happened to him? Is he okay, Young? Can you two stop asking questions? Oma, do you have medicine? I don't have. Jungkook, do you have? I have. Great, Young, he said and took out a tablet which later handed in Namjoon's hand. Namjoon took the medicine and helped Jin to take that. Jin breathed heavily, exhaling. Then again, Namjoon asked, feeling better now? A concern and care was visible in his eyes, which was not unnoticed by Mrs. Kim. She internally smiled and said, Namjoon. Namjoon looked at her, then she again spoke. Are you gonna sit like this? Namjoon then looked at their position and felt an embarrassment because Jin was still on his lap. Namjoon asked Jin to move a little, and he himself moved to another seat, leaving Jin on window seat. Oh ma, it was a nice view. I couldn't able to click any photograph. What did you say? I'm talking about the outside view, Young. Son, if you feel like vomiting again, then tell me, okay? I'm okay now, auntie. Thanks for your concern. He spoke slowly. Then Mrs. Kim again sat on her seat properly. You and me were also sitting silently beside each other, enjoying the view. Time skip. It's almost 8 at night. The driver stopped the bus at a stop. The bus will stop here for some time as they are driving over 2 hours. Some passengers got down of the bus in case of bought some snacks or other things for themselves. I need to buy something, he said, grabbing Namjoon's attention, who immediately got up of the chair and went aside. Jin stood up and walked out, then looked at Namjoon. Thank you so much for helping me. It's fine. I'll come in just few minutes. He gave a slight smile in which Namjoon just laughed. He couldn't say further. He didn't realize that Jin already left from there. He was standing like a statue with his increased heart rate. He came on earth when Mrs. Kim tapped on his shoulder and asked, What happened to you? Nothing, he said and sat on the chair again. Namjoon point of view. I should not think about him. Yes, I cannot deny that he is beautiful, but I cannot just be so stupid to think or feel like this. I don't want to repeat my mistakes again. After a few minutes, still Namjoon's point of view. I was trying to distract myself, just not to have any thought about Jin. But I'm feeling so reckless. I looked at my wristwatch, which made me restless. It's been almost 10 minutes he left. Why didn't he come? I looked outside the window, then Oma said, Namjoon, where Jin went? He didn't come yet. I don't know, Oma. He said he wanted to buy something. It's been almost 10 minutes, Young. Maybe the bus will start in just a minute. Almost all the passengers came, he said, still sitting beside Jimmy. I guess we should go and check. I'm feeling so weird. It's okay, Jimina. Namjoon and I'll go check him. Anyhow, Young, I'm going. You stay here. He spoke while standing up. Just call me if need. Yes, Young, he said and got down of the bus. Namjoon looked here and there but didn't trace the face anywhere which his eyes are looking for. He walked ahead a little and again looked around if he could see the person there, but he couldn't find it. Now he started worrying about him. He was just thinking why he doesn't have his number, but he forgot that they just met some hours ago. He then stepped towards the washrooms nearby thinking if Jin would be there. He hastened his steps towards restroom and unlatched the door without any second thought. He wide opened his eyes when he saw a man who was trying to unbutton another man's shirt forcefully. Anger rushed into his body, seeing the known figure who was struggling to push the another one. Namjoon ran towards them and set them apart, pushing the person away forcefully, who landed on the floor. Jin, are you okay? He asked worriedly, placing his hand on Jin's bicep. Jin wasn't able to speak anything. He was just sobbing hardly, with his wet eyes, which were somewhere making Namjoon worried. Namjoon looked at the person in front, who stood up with his wobbling steps. Namjoon's eyes became dark when he looked at him, more like ready to set apart his soul from his body. But that person was in his drunk condition, so Namjoon just asked him to leave. The man ran from there immediately. Namjoon again shifted his gaze on Jin. He hesitatingly held his shoulders softly and kissed them with his thumb. He bent his head a little down to look at Jin's face, which he was hiding down while sobbing. It's okay, Jin. See, I'm here. Don't worry. You're safe now. Namjoon spoke in his concerned voice, making Jin to look up at him with his water-like sprinkled eyes. Namjoon felt like someone painting his heart with a needle, seeing Jin's glossy eyes and red cheeks. Both looked into each other's eyes, and without having second thought, Jin clutched on Namjoon's body tightly. Namjoon was taken aback because of that unpredicted move. He felt a weird feeling inside his heart when Jin put his hand on his chest. Jun didn't feel like pushing him away. Eventually, he wrapped his arms around Jin, embracing him. He started patting his head softly, like giving him warmth. He was amazed by his own actions because he was comforting a stranger like he knows him for a long time. But little did he know that they were not strangers anymore. Jin's point of view. I don't know if I should trust him or not, but the way he spoke, his words gave me a comfort which made me feel like hiding myself in his arms. My tears weren't stopping flowing down to my cheeks, but the moment he wrapped me in his embrace, I felt a relief which I never thought of feeling in someone's embrace, who is still a stranger but doesn't feel like one. Namjoon was still kissing Jin's head when his phone started ringing. He didn't drop the hug and pulled out his phone with his one hand. It's Mrs. Kim who was calling him. He immediately picked up the call. Namjoon, where are you? Did you find him? Yes, Oma. Then come fast, the bus is about to leave. Oma, you all go. I guess I need to stay here for tonight. But why? What happened? Namjoon looked at Jin, who was still in his embrace, and then said, Jin is feeling unwell. What happened to him? She asked hurriedly. I'll tell you later, Amma. First, I need to take him somewhere he can rest. You all go safely and call me when you reach there. Okay? Take care of him and you too. As she said, Namjoon cut the call. On the other side, Yoongi questioned as Mrs. Kim cut the call. What happened? Namjoon said Jin's condition isn't well. Should we also go and check Oma? Anya, he said he will take care of him. He will come tomorrow. With Jin Hyung? I guess. But what happened to Jin Hyung? He said he'll tell me later. He is taking Jin somewhere to rest. I wonder what got into him. Maybe he got attracted towards Jin Hyung? I guess so. Now I'm feeling so single, Oma. There, the two are together and here, Yoongi Hyung and Jimin. And I? When will I find my partner, Oma? Stop being dramatic and sit properly. This kid is really desperate to be in a relation. Then what? I also want to hold someone's hand. I'm feeling like you'll find him soon. Really, Jimin? Jimin nodded with a smile. Then, the bus started. Time skip. Here, Namjoon took Jin with him in a hotel. He asked the receptionist to give him a room with 2 separate beds and left towards the room with Jin after receiving the key. He was known about the fact that he was holding Jin's hand, leading him towards the room beside him. On the other side, Jin didn't feel uncomfortable with him because somewhere Namjoon's presence was giving him another kind of comfort. Namjoon's point of view. Maybe I'm well known of the things I'm doing. I don't know why I couldn't leave him alone. Am I again gonna hurt myself? Is it good to care about a stranger this much? Why I couldn't hold myself back looking at his condition? Well, we are just together for tonight. Next day, we will be on our different paths. I should not bother myself much. As they both entered inside the room, Namjoon left Jin's hand. Hope you won't mind staying with me in the same room. Anya, I don't know how to thank you for this favor. It's fine. Uh, do you want to take shower? Hmm. Okay then. Do you want to eat something? Maybe. Okay. Let me order something. Till then, you can bath. Won't you? After you. Namjoon said while picking the hotel's menu card and ordered some food for them both. After Jin, Namjoon too took a shower. They sat on their beds with a silence in between them. Then Jin said, I'm sorry for saying those things. It's fine. And I'm also sorry for behaving bad towards you. I guess I overreacted at that time. You did though, but it's not a big deal. Maybe I prejudged you? But that was right. I'm actually a cold type of person. But you proved me wrong at the very next moment. Maybe you don't like showing your concerned nature to others, right? Jin said, looking at Namjoon, who didn't utter anything. Somewhere Jin was right, but as they just met, they don't know about each other. Then they heard a knock on the door. I guess our food arrived, he said and stepped towards the door and unlocked it. A waiter was standing there with the food. Namjoon took the food tray and locked the door again after thanking the waiter. Then they both did the dinner and lay down on their respective beds. Namjoon already talked to Mrs. Kim about him and Jin. She just asked him to take care and told him that they will reach in just some minutes. Namjoon is laying on the bed back facing Jin. He isn't able to sleep because some memories are haunting him. He turned and faced Jin, who is already slept. Namjoon can see Jin's face due to the dim light on his face. He knows very well what his heart is saying, but he wants to ignore it. So he again was about to turn. Then Jin's phone started ringing. Namjoon was still laying on the bed thinking Jin will wake up and pick up the call. But Jin was already in his deep sleep. Namjoon sighed and got up of the bed. He wanted to turn off Jin's phone because he didn't want to touch it without his permission. But he stopped looking at the name popping on the screen, which was showing Oma. Namjoon once looked at Jin, then again at the phone and exhaled deeply before picking up the call. Hello? Hello? She said suspecting because it's not her son's voice. Who are you? You are not my son. Where is my son? Actually, your son is sleeping now. I'm really sorry for picking up his call without his permission. But it was seeming important, so I picked it up. That's fine, but why he's sleeping in the bus? And who are you? He isn't in a bus, but in a hotel room. And I'm Kim Namjin, his friend. Kim Namjoon? Yes, actually, his health became unwell while traveling, so he's resting now. Please don't worry, ma'am. He's safe here. They are here, Mrs. Kim. Namjoon heard another voice coming over the call. Lead them towards the living room, Mrs. Lee. She spoke softly and again said, I'm sorry, dear. I hope he didn't trouble you much. Please take care and tell him to talk to me when he wakes up in the morning, okay? Yes, ma'am. The call was ended when Namjoon put the mobile again on the table and laid on his bed again. While thinking and fighting with his thoughts, he didn't know when he dozed off. Next morning, Jin and Namjoon both got ready and did their breakfast. Jin then looked at his phone and saw his mother's missed call. He called her back. Hello, Ma. I'm sorry I didn't call you last night. Actually, I know son. Your friend, Namjoon told him. Namjoon? Yes. Well, are you alright now? Yes. When will you come? I'll take the bus in just a minute. I'll call you when I reach, okay? Well, is your friend also coming with you? Actually, he is a bit busy in his work, so I cannot say. He said, looking at Namjoon, who just ended a call and came inside the room from balcony. Oh, but it would be better if you come here. Well, I'll call you later, Amma. Bye. He said and cut the call. He looked at Namjoon when he said, I have booked the tickets for us both. I looked for cabs, but cabs aren't actually comfortable. Why did you book the tickets for me? Do you want me to leave you alone and let you get into any trouble? He said, but instantly regretted his words. Jin looked at Namjoon's face, which he was hiding, and trying to avoid eye contact. Why are you so concerned about me? Will it affect you if I get into any trouble? We should go. We'll get late. He spoke and hurriedly left outside of the room. Jin also stepped outside behind him. They both sat on the bus beside each other, but this time Namjoon left the window seat for Jin to sit. Later the bus started. It's going to be a journey of 3 hours, and after that they will be again strangers. Somewhere their hearts want to be beside each other, but they actually are not aware of it. The bus was running on the road when they both are silently sitting, lost in their own worlds. Soon, Jin's eyes started feeling heavy, and shortly his head started swaying and fell on Namjoon's shoulder. But he immediately opened his eyes, tried to control his sleep, but the soft wind touching his eyes was making him dizzy. So he rested his head on the back seat while turning his face towards the window. Namjoon was all aware of Jin's action. He lightly chuckled because Jin is trying to not to bother him. Somehow, this behavior of Jin was seeming cute to Namjoon. He looked aside only to see that head, who was struggling not to fall. Namjoon's eyes halted on his face again, more like adoring his alarm. Jin's head was swinging and was about to fall when Namjoon instantly raised his hand, on which Jin's face fell lightly. Namjoon secured it in his big veiny hands and slowly rested it on his shoulder. He is aware enough to understand what he is doing. He cannot deny that he is attracting towards him, but he is thinking that it's just an attraction which will fade away when they will apart. Having this thought, he also closed his eyes and fell asleep. Time slipped. They both opened their eyes when they felt the bus stop moving. Jin yawned and stretched his body a little. So did Namjoon. They both got down of the bus and looked at each other. They both know that it's time to get departed. Did you book the cab? Yes. Did you? Yes, I did. So, here is my business card. He took out his business card in front of Jin, who looked at it in confusion, thinking why he is giving him his business card. Why are you giving it to me? My mother took your bag. You must need your stuff. So, you can call here later to take it. Oh, thank you. I totally forgot about my stuffs. He said with a soft smile on. They both stood there with a silence in between them because they don't know what should they talk or say. They were glancing at each other time to time. Then a cab stopped in front of them. Jin knows that it's the cab he booked. He then looked at Namjoon, who also looked back at him. Just then, another cab came and stopped there. They both made an eye contact, which was showing that they want to stop right there. But what's the reason to stop? I guess it's time to leave. They both did a handshake and turned towards the cab. Namjoon opened the cab window and again looked at Jin, who was also standing at the window, looking at Namjoon. Jin then turned towards Namjoon and stepped towards him. Namjoon was watching him coming towards him. Jin stood right in front of him and said, I guess it's the first and last time. Can I help you? Namjoon got too stunned hearing Jin's words and looked at him widely. Jin stepped more closer to him and hugged him softly, wrapping his arms around his neck. Namjoon felt a tingling sensation inside his stomach, and his heart started racing in an unusual speed. Soon after, he also embraced Jin in his arms while closing his eyes. After some time, they both parted and gazed at each other, feeling a lot of emotions and feelings they should not have for a person whom they don't really know well. Then they both sat inside the cabs and drove off towards their destinations. Will we meet again? Why I want to meet you again. Happy birthday, Namjin. I don't have words to thank you for existing. I have learned a lot from you. I know you cannot read these words which I am writing out of emotions, but I want you to always stay happy and healthy. The things you did for me without even asking made my life brighter. I am keeping your words in my heart and promising myself that I'll be by my side even if this whole world went against me. Thank you for being born as King Namjoon and existing like a human. I love you. Please be safe and healthy for your family, for those who loves you, and for... I know guys, I couldn't make it a long fan fiction. I'm being so puzzled lately due to some personal reasons. I know it's not that good. Comment down if you want a bonus part.